Greetings, Goddesses and Adoni, and welcome back to Warrior Wednesday and call number 3 of the Warriors United Fall Session. We're already halfway through this session. Can you believe that? The time is just flying by. Well, I need to take some time right now to give a shout out to the one and only Goddess 69, Amy Lebrecq. You know, Amy struggled this summer with party cancellations and some low parties. And as a single mom, she depends on her party profits to provide the extras for her kids. She has a son in college and a daughter in dance, and those are both big bills piled on top of everyday living. Amy rocked her parties last weekend and did over $3,000 in sales. Her Friday night party was $1,800 with 16 guests. So the lesson that we can learn from Amy is that all businesses have ups and downs and not to give up. Your next successful parties are just around the corner. So congratulations, Amy. You truly are an inspiration to everyone at Athena's. Brett Palmer had an $1,100 party. Speaking of inspirations, here's another example of someone who had to wade through a tremendous amount of cancellations and low parties at the beginning of his career to get to this newfound level of success. Here's a guy that remained positive no matter what and never gave up. So if you're listening and you've had a tough selling season or you've gotten off to a rocky start, don't give up. Keep taking business building action. Quitting is truly the only way to fail. So as Linda Norton says, keep showing up. Lauren Goyette, she did a party this weekend with sales over $1,200, and that's totally awesome, Lauren. To all of you listening, I hope that you're going to tune in or show up and learn from Lauren, who's going to be presenting her goddess demo at the October BBW. She's definitely doing something right. We all need to check it out. And congratulations to the Jens. Jen Madsen had a $1,300 weekend, and Jen Nitolo had a $1,400 weekend. Go girls. I'm happy for you. You're making money and you're changing lives. Speaking of changing lives, Bobby Jo Hutchins, she recruited 2 people in one day. Woo! That's amazing. Growing your team like a boss. Congratulations, Bobby Jo. You know, September has been a wonderful month of milestones. Melissa Milliken became a demigoddess. Katie Amaro, Kim Boulay, and Sunshine Yolanda Miller all achieved earthly goddess recruiting status in September. So proud of all of you, and I look forward to recognizing you on stage in January. You know, these Goddesses and Adoni that I'm giving shout outs to, these are people who have consistently plugged into our WOW and More programs. They've been active in our Facebook groups, and more importantly, they've put the useful information that they've learned in these programs into action. And you can do that too. So now it's time to clear your mind, close out of your social media and emails, and really listen to the content of this call. Take some notes. I know that I listened to this call twice already. It's great. Open your mind, open your heart, get your pen out. Are you ready? All right, I'm ready. Sue is going to call the code word a keyword again, so listen closely. The code words let us know that you're here, so be sure to write them all down and submit them in your Google submission form. And your first code word is my. Your first code word is my, M-Y. So it is my great pleasure to provide you with yet another 30 minutes of learning with Sue Guiher. Sue?
Hello, Athena's Goddesses and Adoni. It is Sue Guiher back with week 3 of Athena's Step into Greatness, WOW and More United. I am so excited to talk with you again this week. And I have to say, I'm giving you big kudos. I have been checking out you guys in the forum. Sometimes I'll be commenting in, but mostly I've just been reading. And I love how you are sharing successes with each other, sharing resources with each other, asking for help, asking for ideas, really supporting each other as you are going through this fall together. So that is what all of you helping each other will create a stronger community, a stronger network for success for all of you. So keep it up. Now, I want to talk to you a little bit of a recap of what we've done and then get us set up for today. So what we're talking about so far is your success. And having been working with businesses for way over a decade, I won't say exactly how long, but way over a decade, I know that there are 5 what I call pillars for success. And we've actually been going through them, and I'm not sure that I've highlighted them or not for you. So I want to go through them first. And they are values, vision, focus, transformation, and results. So we've talked about building a business based on what's important to you. And in our first week, we talked about really connecting in with your values, understanding why you're doing this business, why you are jumping in this fall and either staying committed or recommitting. We talked about having that vision. So whether you did it as a vision board or as I like, which is a vision letter to yourself, to someone else, to me, that you really crafted out for yourself what you want that's connected to who you are at the very core. That's what keeps you going when you're not really sure you want to be in business. And that happens to all of us, raising my hand included. So if you haven't taken that time to really look at your vision, I invite you to do that this week. We talked about scheduling for success last week. Put it on your schedule. Just schedule out a half hour to really look at your vision. We want to talk about focusing on the right things at the right time. I'm always talking about that. So we talked about planning for success. When you plan for success, it helps you focus on your business. It helps you stay connected to your business. And focus is so key to being able to move forward and to have the results that you want. Transformation we're going to cover over the next couple of weeks, but you're doing it anyway. I see it. Transformation is, what do you need to change in your mindset? What do you need to change in the way you've been working your business? And it's also the transformation that you are giving your clients, your customers, the people that you interact with. What are you doing to help them? What transformation are you making in their lives? Really understand that and be proud of that and take credit for that. Talk about that so that others can also experience that with you. And that brings us to what I'm going to talk about today, which is results. So many times we just tend to, as business owners or just people in general, let results just happen. Well, results don't just happen. You need to focus on them. You need to plan for them. And you need to celebrate them. One of the things that I love is celebrating. Now, the best way to know your results is to know your numbers. Now, if I said that and that made you want to scream numbers, oh no, I'm going to break it down so it's so super simple. Because the bottom line is, when you're in business, there's money, there's numbers, there's goals, all that need to be looked at, monitored, celebrated, checked. Your numbers are important. So we talked about the goal, sales goal, and your recruiting goal for this fall. And I had broken it down before, and these are the numbers I'm going to continue to use just because they're simple. That in September, we're going to talk about sales volume first, and then I'll come back and we'll do the numbers through recruiting. So sales volume was 6,000. Now, you can do more, but that's what I'm going to be operating with is the 6,000 number for the fall. And I suggested that you break it down in this way: 1,000 for September, 2,500 for October, and 2,500 for November. But wait, Sue, that's going to get us to 6,000 by December 1st. Yay! That's great. Then December is not as stressed out where you're behind the 8 ball and you're trying to make your numbers. December will be all about connecting with people, with celebrating your success. So let's take a look at what it means to have that 6,000. So let's look at our September. Way to know your numbers is you have to figure out, okay, if I have a goal of 1,000 sales volume, what's my average party sales? So for easy numbers, I'm going to choose 500. Yours might be different. So if yours is 400, put 400 down. If yours is 600, put 600 or whatever the number is. But I'm going to work with 500. So if I am trying to get 1,000 sales volume and I know my average party is 500, easy. I need 2 parties on the book. Look at your calendar. Look where you scheduled things out. Did you do 2? Do you have one more coming up in the next couple days? Can you do a pop-up party, online party yourself? Think about, where am I with this sales goal of 1,000? If you made the 1,000, yay, celebrate, congratulations. If you didn't, still celebrate what you've done. You started a plan, you started to get yourself set up. We've got the October Blitz coming. So look at where you are. Be honest with yourself. Did I really work my tail off so I got there? Yay, me, let's do more of that. Or did I start a little bit late? Didn't start calling people, didn't start thinking back about my business. That's okay. Let's move into October. So wherever you were in September, so if you made your 1,000, that's fine. Leave that 1,000 there. If you say made 900, so on the end of this month, when you're looking at the end of September, if you were short of 1,000, bring that over. If you were 1,000 or above, it's like zeroed out, because 2,500 is still going to be your goal for October if you made the 1,000. Now, say you were 100 short, then bring that 100 over, because you're short, and add it to that 2,500 goal, and now your goal is 2,600. Now, you've got a lot going on in October. October, frankly, is Athena's month. You've got a Blitz coming up. You've got BBW coming up. Jen, Mother Goddess, loves Halloween coming up. You guys are starting with all the flyers around Halloween. Breast Cancer Awareness Month, with the Athena's Cup being such a core value for Athena's. October's your month. You guys have this. So I want you to take a look now. Have you scheduled? Remember we talked about planning for success last week? So if your goal is 2,500 in sales volume, and we said, and we're working with a number of 500, that means you need to have 5 parties. Not that much, a little over 1. Maybe you're going to do some catalog. Maybe you're going to host your own. Maybe you're doing an event, and maybe events are the equivalent of 2 parties for you. Whatever it is, always be tracking your numbers. Always also track your success. And I like to say, at the end of each day, look at what you've achieved for that day. What were your results for that day? And do a mini dance or a mini celebration, because mini successes breed more success. It gets you in this momentum. It gets you in this rhythm. Don't wait until December and start celebrating then. Celebrate all along, because energetically it just makes you feel better. And that will get you more results. So let's say we're looking at 5 shows, 5 parties. Open up your October and start putting in when you want them. Literally put in, if you don't have any on the books, put in party 1, party 2, party 3, party 4, party 5, or how many you're planning on doing during the month. Your job is to fill those in with names. Now you've got an October Blitz. Start planning out all the people that you're going to contact now. You don't have to even wait till then, but start planning out who you're going to contact so that you are filling those slots. Also, by filling in your calendar ahead of time, you know when you want to work. And if for some reason party number 3 never gets a name, host your own that night. Do an online party that night. Get some sales for that night. It may not be your normal 500, or maybe you'll hit it out of the park, and it will be. But it will give you sales towards your goal. Because if you just spend that night, I didn't feel that party and now it's a night off, you'll lose the momentum in your business. So schedule out. Remember we talked last week that whenever you have scheduled yourself to work, to actually work. Create your list now of the people that are potential hostess for you, people that maybe want to do online or calendars or however many people that you want to connect with. So that's where you also need to know your numbers. Generally, how many people do you need to talk to before you book a party? Do you need to talk to 4 people? So if I want to book 5 parties, then I need to have at least 20 people that I'm going to be talking to. Now, some of them might be at one of your parties. Somebody might book off of a party. But don't leave that to chance. Really look at your schedule and start thinking about past hostesses, people who said they've wanted to and never scheduled. Really create your list. By planning and creating that list, you'll get the results and the numbers that you want. And then the same thing. Every week, see where you're at towards your goal of 2,500, or if you didn't make it in September, 26, or whatever your number ends up being, but a minimum of 2,500 for October in sales. Monitor that. How close am I? Don't get to October 31st and go, I only hit 1,000. Now I'm down the whole 1,500. You should never be unclear of your numbers. Always, always, always be right on top because it's your business. And that's how you'll get the results that you want. Then you just do the same thing in November. How many shows do I need to? How many parties do I need to schedule? There's Thanksgiving there. Are people going to be away? Is that a good time? Maybe I'm going to be around family. Maybe I host my own. Am I going to be around people? Can I do some special thank you for past hosts? And you do something for them, maybe an event, an open house. There's all kinds of ideas that you can start cultivating. Again, it goes back to your planning for success. And I see you guys doing it already. You are putting it into place. So, big thing, big takeaways. And then we're going to jump back and talk about the same thing around results. Is when you set yourself up for success, writing into your calendars, whatever type of calendar that you use, how many parties you need to, how many people you need to talk to, when you're going to do it, when you're going to be working, having that whole October schedule, and then tracking. So October 3rd, you had a party. What were your sales? Take it away from 2,500. So 2,500, you had a 600. Okay, I got 1,900 still goal for this month. Celebrate that 600, be excited about it, and then get to work on the rest of it. Always, always know where you are in conjunction to your goals. That will allow you to be in control. That will allow you to be in choice. That will also let you know when you need to reach out. Say for some reason you just didn't have a great party. You have no idea. Instead of letting that, bum you out for too long, reach out and say, hey, I need some support. I need some ideas. Or just know that it's part of the bigger picture. It still took away from your $2,500 goal. So it's moving you towards that sales volume goal of $2,500 for the month. Everything that you do is moving you towards that place. Got it? Awesome. So here's what I want to give you as your code word for this month. Since October is such a key month for you guys, that's going to be our key word. Is October is our code word. Because October, you guys are going to hit it out of the park. So October is your code word for this call. Now let's talk about recruiting. Now I know that Jen had said your recruiting goal was 5 and 2 active. But I bumped it up for you a little bit just because it was easier for me to do numbers-wise. So I'm going going to say 2 in September, 2 in October, 2 in November. Again, gives you some breathing room in December. It also allows you more time to have those two activate. So if you want to adjust it, but I challenge you to start thinking 2, 2, and 2. All right. So let's take a look where you are in September. Now, maybe you didn't get any in September. So then it's going to be, let's move it over to October. It can be 4 in October, or you can split it out 3 and 3. But let's just say 4 in October if you didn't get any in September. Move those 2 over to October. Same thing when we talked about sales volume. How many people do you need to talk to before you have somebody decide to join Athena's? Do you need to talk to 10 people and usually you get a 1? Well, then you're going to need a total of 60 people over the next 3 months, aren't you? That's not that many when you think about how many people you're in front of when you go out and do your parties, or how many people you see each day. Now, we talked about last week, if you're planning for success, you're going to have 6 packets all ready, whatever the information is that you need to put together to welcome your new members of your team. Have that done now, because if you have it done, it also sets you up to be excited to give them out, to actually give that information out to somebody. So when you think about your results, how many people do I need to talk to? How much information do I need to give out? Do you have a list of people that you think would be fantastic members of your team? Have you written out who would be an ideal member of your team? If you haven't written out your ideal addition to your team, I invite you to do that. Get really clear on who you want to be working with. When you write it down, it kind of gets you excited. It gets you also very focused. Remember, one of the key pillars is focus. You focus on the people that you really want to meet, that you really want to connect with, and that you want to be working with. You want people on your team that you're going to like and have a connection with, and they're going to be supportive to the other members of your team. Reach out to the whole Athena's community on the forums and ask people, how do you have that conversation? It also all just comes down to, you've heard it before, I know you've heard it before, it's a numbers game, and you know what it is. And so that's why you need to know, again, your numbers. If you're out making your sales volume by having parties, by being in front of people, you know it's just going to also help you in your recruiting and bringing people onto your team. So think about, okay, so in September, did you recruit anyone? Congratulations. Did you talk to anybody? Congratulations. Did you create your information packets? Congratulations. Celebrate all of those, because those are all results. And each of you needs to sit down and say, just like we talked about, what is my average sales volume per party? What's my average conversion rate? Meaning, if I talk to 10 people about the opportunity to join Athena's, how many of them say yes? Is it 0? Then you might need to look at who you're asking. Are they part of your ideal? Have you written down who you really want to be working with? If they're 1, that's not bad. What would make it 2? Is it you being more confident? You having all the information right in front of you? Would it be, again, just speaking to the right people? Confidence, focus, being prepared will always help you increase your numbers. So think about, how many people do I need to get in front of to reach my recruiting goal of 6? Now, say you didn't have anybody. So your goal then is 4 for October. I'm just putting that out there. Don't have a heart attack. Don't go, oh, that can't ever happen. Take that on with gusto. Yes, I just need 1 person a week through October. And we just said October is a great month for Athena's. If you're out there connecting with people, being excited about Athena's, that catches on. Share with people what you're doing. Share with people how the community supports you. Be excited about your business. I got to tell you, it's contagious when you are. Think about, okay, so if I need to recruit one person a week, that's what 4 comes down to. Again, where am I planning that on my schedule? Where am I planning the conversations? Do I need to be making phone calls? Do I need to be making coffee dates? And I know some of you say, I have no time for this. Okay. Where are you going to make the time for it? Again, this is a big month for you. Where are you going to focus in so that you get the results that you want? Also, if you really push hard in October, whether you recruit anyone in September or not, just think about the time that you'll then have in November to be able to support them, to bring them in, to welcome them, to get the people that you've brought onto your team started on the right foot. Getting them with the sales volume that they want, getting them to have the parties that they want so they activate, getting them really feeling good about their business, jumping right on in with them. If you're able to bring multiple people on at once, it also saves you time in training and support for them because you can do it all at once rather than one here, one there. Start thinking about how you want to help them create their success. Really envision yourself working with the new people on your team. How would that feel? And being able to celebrate their results. I think it's pretty cool. Always know your numbers. So if the first week of October you talk to 10 people and 2 people said they were interested, great, that's 20%. If you're at a 20%, then you need to know that you need to talk to 10 more people to get another 2. Again, it's always a numbers game. And by knowing your numbers, you know how many people that you need to talk to. And again, it's not exact science, of course not. But you can ask yourself, what am I doing really well that's connecting with people? Or maybe it's the people that you're connecting with. When you know your numbers, when you know who you've talked to and how well you've done, how it's converted, it makes you smarter. It saves you time. We all want more time and effort because you're focusing in on the right people for your team. Again, just to recap, we talked about having your vision. So whether you did that as a vision letter, a vision board, writing it out, make sure that you have it. We've talked about scheduling your success, really writing into your calendar, and do that because October is going to be big for you with the Blitz and BBW all coming up. Really look at your calendar and schedule it out now. Know your numbers so that you get the results that you want and that you can focus on the right things. By knowing your numbers and reviewing the goals that we set up, which were 1,000 sales in September, 2,500 in October, 25 in November, so that you just fly into December, and then 2, 2, and 2. Two people recruited in September, October, and November. Again, these are just the ones I'm setting. So for these calls, if you want to do more, go for it. And always celebrate your successes every day, even if they're small ones. That will keep you motivated and going forward. Share your successes and support each other. I look forward to connecting with you all again next week. Have a fabulous week. Bye for now. This is Sue Guiher with Thrive for Success.
Thanks, Sue. Okay, results don't just happen. I wrote it down in big letters and I underlined it. I also wrote in big letters, know your numbers. So I ask you, warriors, how much do you want to make in October? What's the dollar amount? Have you written it down? If you haven't, write it down now. And how many parties would you have to realistically book in order to hit that income goal? Go ahead, write it down. Well, whatever numbers you've just written down or said out loud, I believe in you. You can do this. And I challenge you to go for it with everything that you've got. You will never regret the effort that you put into building this business. And now it's time for me to give everyone on the call a chance to win a new Genie rechargeable vibe. You can put it in your demo kit, put it in your stock, sell it, raffle it off to a lucky hostess, or use it as a team incentive. First team member to finish training gets the Genie. Of course, you can choose to put it in your personal stash, which is always also a good choice. I love this toy. It's got so much pleasure potential, so good luck to all of you. So how can you win it? Simply share your aha moment by midnight tonight in the Google Docs submission form, and you'll be entered to win this $85 Genie absolutely free. Okay, time to give you the final code word and instructions to submit it. But before I do, let me give you the instructions, and then I'll talk a little bit about something else, and then I'll give you the final code word. All right, so like always, you're going to fill out your Google Docs survey that was included in the email. Share your aha moment. Fill it out completely. I want to know what you thought of the call. You can find the Google Docs submission form, in the email, but I also put it in the Wow and More Facebook groups for your convenience. So click on the link, fill it out completely, and you only have to fill out the one form for both programs. And this is how we know that you were here. We count it as proof that goes towards your spoils of war. So you must fill out the form by midnight on Warrior Wednesdays in order to get entered to win that free Genie. But if you can't listen by midnight on Warrior Wednesday, that's okay. You have until 11:59 p.m. on Friday, September 30th, to complete and submit the Google Docs survey. And by submitting this information, you receive that credit for calling in to go towards your spoils of war. And of course, Sue will be back next Wednesday with call number 4. Well, Warriors, I want to thank you for being here. I know you're a busy business owner and you have a lot of other commitments, and I appreciate you for taking the time to make this program a priority in your life. And I hope that you're excited to make money in October, make it a month of lots of profits and team building. And the Blitz is next Tuesday. So what are you going to do to prepare? How many people do you need to reach out to hit your booking and recruiting goals? Remember that your October will fill your November, and your November is going to fill your December, and your December will fill your January. What you do, the actions that you take, it matters. I've heard it said before about direct sales. It's like having a fire, right? So if you build this beautiful campfire and you just let it go out, it's way harder to start another campfire. But it's way easier if you just keep the fire going. It's the same thing with direct sales. If you want to keep the fire going, you have to stoke it. You have to pay attention to it. Otherwise, it's going to go out. And I have lots of things that'll help you stoke your fire. We have social media posts that will help you book parties and recruit in October and November. We created awesome posts for October, awesome posts for November. These are the tools. But you know what? If you don't pick them up and use them, they don't work. So please, it's up to you. Pick up the tools and use them. And I'm about to give you another interesting tool that you can use, something that I hope helps you fill your calendar in October and get your party hosts and hostesses super excited. So I'm going to give away 2 $500 Athena shopping sprees in the month of October. Well, actually, for parties in October, we're going to give it away in November. So I'm going to give $500 to one lucky host or hostess in October and one lucky goddess or Adonis in October. And it's as easy as 1, 2, 3 to get entered. Ready? If your hostess has a $500 party, they get 1 entry. If they have a $1,000 party, they get 2 entries. And if they join Athena's the night of their party, they get 3 entries. And that is it. There are no other ways to get entries. These are the 3 ways. All right, everybody catch that? $500 party, 1 entry. $1,000 party, 2 entries, and join the night of their party, they get 3 entries. That's simple. And you, the goddess or Adonis, are also entered to win on every entry. There will be a Google Docs submission form for you to enter your hostesses. And if you're Freedom or Indie, you must use the submission form. Okay, it doesn't matter what plan you're on. So now, how do we keep this honest and fair? If you're Freedom, you'll enter the party ID in the submission form. If you're Indie, you must enter the supply order number on the submission form that corresponds to your $500 order or $1,000 order. So you must submit a $500 CV order to earn you and your hostess 1 entry, or a $1,000 CV order to earn your 2 entries. Now, notice I said CV instead of SV. That's right, your raw roll-ons, your womanizers, and your love, everything that's net is going to count. So your CV instead of SV. You're welcome. I know a lot of you are happy about that. So if your hostess joins, it doesn't matter how much the party is. They can have a $300 party and join, and they get 3 entries. You must enter their party date and Goddess Adonis number into the submission form. Okay, so once they sign up, you would enter their party date and their Goddess or Adonis number into the submission form. So you will fill out 1 submission form per host or hostess. So you have to fill one out for every single $500 or $1,000 party that you do or recruit that you sign up. It's very simple, super easy. Oh, those Google Docs, we love them. I hope that this inspires you to work your business in October. You now have something exciting to talk about during the Blitz, during your connections, a $500 shopping spree. And if they book during the Blitz, if they book an October party, they get entered to win $100 as well. In addition to the educational party, the gathering of their friends, and the free product that they'll earn, they've got a chance to win. So that's really exciting. And to take it a step further, you can now say to every October host and hostess at every party you do, if you join my team tonight, you'll earn 3 entries to win a $500 shopping spree. And when you finish training, you will also earn a chance to win a cruise to Bermuda. So we have just off the charts incentives right now for you to offer to your hostesses. So I encourage you to focus on your goals and plan for success. And I think it's worth mentioning that every successful person at Athena's isn't lucky, really. They have goals, they focus on their goals, and they consistently work towards their goals. Success isn't something that we've reserved for them. They work for it. So if you put the effort in and work your business, you will find success and reap the rewards. It's that simple. So how are you feeling right now? I'd love to hear what's coming up for you after this call. Share your feelings in the Wow and More pages about the contest, about the content of the call. I really would love to see what you're feeling right now. And now here is the final code word that you've been waiting so patiently for, and it's success. Our final code word of the evening is success. And cheers to your success, and Goddess bless.